Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So, welcome, Gemini. We start out with this love energy. I'm not saying it's going to be a love reading. Just right off the top, let's just say that, okay? It might not be a love reading, but there's love energy. We have the Two of Cups. You can't be sad when you get the Two of Cups, okay? Now, I don't know what's going on yet, and we're going to look at the tea leaves. We're going to do some oracle cards, and we're really going to suss out what the situation is. But I have to tell you, I am so happy that I'm coming into this light energy. All of my other readings have been so heavy. So I'm hoping that, Gemini, you're going to be my love and light, baby today. All right. So anyways, Gemini, I want to tell you, thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on the reading. And thank you for sticking with me through it, because I know I sound sick. I am sick. Feeling lots better, but still kind of cruddy. So I apologize. But I promise you, I usually do some of my better readings when I'm sick. I feel like you get further into the borderlands when you've been fevery, right? Like, I've had some intense dreams lately. Maybe we'll talk about this later. But my goodness, I feel very connected through this cold or flu or whatever is going on. Okay, now we're going to take a look here. We're going to spin this thing. And while we're doing that, I want to go ahead and say thank you for being here. And if you happen to have a request for a prayer, you can put that in the comments. You can email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. I know that, it's not always easy to ask for prayer or energy sent to you or to be thought of. In fact, I think a lot of times we feel embarrassed about these kinds of things. I pray for people every day. I get all kinds of comments and messages and people in my daily life, talking to me, telling me about things that are happening with them, and never once have I thought, what a weak person for asking for prayer, or gosh, they really seem like this, or that situation makes me think that they're like that, or whatever. And yet, I still feel some sense of being like a burden when I myself ask for prayer. So I understand it can be difficult, but I promise you, there's no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. Maybe sometimes to a fault, actually. But, I absolutely, I'm open. I'm happy to pray for you, with you, sending you energies. If you want to put that in the comment section or send that email. And what else? The equinox is coming up. I am filming a oracle / kind of I'm doing some mediumship. I'm starting to work on doing it in my readings, or maybe I'll do a whole other channel with medium stuff. I've really been enjoying practicing and doing it in my private life, doing, live readings with people in my life here. And now I'm ready to start doing more readings on video, I guess, for the world to see. I can't help but feel a little bit, I don't know. I'm just I feel very self-conscious about it, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I have I'm going to be doing that reading next, and it'll be out at the same time as this reading. Comes out tomorrow, which is Thursday the 17th, I believe. Is it already the 17th tomorrow? Or is today the 17th? Let me see. I'm looking. It is. Oh my gosh. So this is coming out on the 18th. So anyways, look for that. And let's get started. So in the middle, we have a waterfowl. No, our fowl, actually, I don't know. Our fowl ducks, just ducks, right? I don't know. I'm not going to look it up because it's going to take more time. Put it in the comments. Let me know. We have a large, tall bird. You often see these in lakes, maybe near waterways, channels, rivers, that kind of thing. These are like our cranes, our egrets, our heron. These kinds of birds are very patient. If you've ever seen one, they look like they're standing out there doing like Tai Chi, Qui-Gon, flowing with the movements of the elements. They are in deep concentration or contemplation. Okay, so for me, whenever I see this symbol of a lake bird, a water bird, I know that there is a real draw towards introspection, okay? You are in your head. You have been really going over things deep within yourself. I feel like something has happened. Usually it takes something to happen in our lives for us to stop and really look over. It could be top to bottom. You're looking at your histories, you're being the little archaeologist of your life, of your mythologies. You're doing the individuation, the shadow work, the inner child work, self-development in general, healing, working on coping mechanisms. It's so much, and so often we're doing a lot of these things at the same time, right? But I do feel like whatever it is that took place is coming to an end, and maybe has already ended. But I feel like you are in a place where there seems to be like the energy is calming. It's starting to even out. You are starting to be balanced in life once again. I feel like you are getting back to your daily stuff, your routines, focusing on the practicality of life and all that entails, but also the future, right? You are beginning to hope again. You are beginning to, dream a little bit. But I think that whatever has happened has been fairly destabilizing. I think that there have been fundamental shifts in your life. We're talking about like divorce, health issues, somebody passing away, big things, okay? But you already know what it is because you've already been through it. I'm not talking about anything coming up. This is something that has already happened. So you are in a place where you are beginning to really find your confidence again, your voice. And honestly, I feel like there has been a resistance to maybe socializing, allowing new people into your life. And, I think that for you, and I do assume you are a Gemini after all, you are somewhat social. I mean, you're maybe kind of balanced in that you are introverted and extroverted. And maybe at times, pretty happy to just, be on the dolo, just kind of doing things by yourself. But I do feel like in this time, there's a sense of people coming together. And I do feel like where there have been questions, things just seem so clear. We have all these question marks up here. Now, we also have a Taurus that's involved in some way. And we have birds. This bird up here. Okay. And then over here we have a person who looks like, it reminds me of, oh my gosh, what was that? Is it the salt? That old ad that had the girl in the rain jacket and the, am I conflating two? I'm thinking of like the sun block. What was that? Where the kid was like in the sun and the dog's like pulling down their swimsuit or whatever. Not that one, but the girl in the, I think it was for salt, right? Again, another thing you have to tell me. I'm not going to get on my phone to look it up. But it does, there's a sense of a storm. There's a sense of being alone. Okay? There's a sense of also weathering it. And not only weathering it, but actually enjoying the storm. Like, you're a type of person that when it rains, you want to go outside and dance, right? You don't care if you get your clothes wet. You don't care if you're, look silly or people are staring. You are totally fine in your own skin, right? You are totally fine to behave however you feel that you want to. And I think that this is something that you've always kind of had. And in this last situation, it feels like you have just, it's been, like who you are as a being, who you know you are, has been so challenged. It feels to me like you have had to behave in such a way that doesn't feel like yourself. And I feel like that is really where the pain is. It's not about so much what happened, although that does seem like it's probably something that's, not a good thing. But I think where the hurt is that you were forced to be somebody that you're not because of somebody else's something, right? Their decisions, their behaviors, them not being careful or careful with you or your life or your family or whatever. And so I feel like you are in a place where you are beginning to remember yourself, right? You are not feeling completely taken apart by this. You are starting to kind of pull together your emotional, psychic, spiritual resources and building yourself back up. But you're not doing this in the public eye. You're not doing this for people to see. You're not like taking pictures and posting progress reports. No, you are doing this quietly. You are doing this within self. You are doing this in a way that will be lasting because you are taking your time with it. And I feel like you are very serious. This is not a passing phase. This is not a fad diet or a lifestyle change you heard on a podcast or, something like this. This is like the tectonic plates. They went a-rumbling. The landscape changed. And now you're out here looking at everything around you and envisioning what life is going to be like going forward. Like, what is your kingdom going to be? Because whatever was before is not anymore. And if the pieces are still there or aspects of it are still there, they will be repurposed into your new life, of course. But things don't look the same. They don't feel the same. You do not feel the same. Okay? So let's go ahead. We have also the number, it looks like 2000 and I'm going to say 2002. We have the omega sign here, which is the last letter of the Greek alphabet and is an ending, right? when you see, now my only tattoos that I have, and I do plan on getting one pretty soon, actually, I'm excited. It was when I reached one of my health goals, I decided I'm going to get a really cool image. It's an alchemical engraving of Saturn on my chest. And to also kind of mark my turn into cronehood. And so anyways, I'm excited about it. But my other two tattoos, the only ones that I have, I got them when I was 18 years old, are Alpha Omega on my hips. And Alpha Omega together, it's the beginning and the end. Also would be Logos or God or the Word or, so on and so forth. So seeing this, I feel that there is a divinely wrapped closure. What does that mean, Lenor? It is an ending that God, Goddess, the cosmos, the divine, whatever it is handing to you. Okay? Now, it might not feel wonderful at first. When we get into that place where the universe kind of decides for us, that doesn't always feel good. It might make you feel even, maybe more grief in some circumstances. But in this, I think that it is like the cutoff that needs to happen. Okay, so situationally, some variable is going to make it impossible for this to go on. So I do feel like this at first maybe was kind of a heartache, a big blow, but I think ultimately it is a blessing. Okay, this is that beautiful, beautiful blessing within trouble. Okay, so, it might not feel like a good thing, but I promise you it's going to be. Now, we have that Taurus person, and I want to look at what we have going on with them. We have the frog. We have a person holding an umbrella. We have, it looks like a two-headed beast right here. This is the person with the umbrella. This is the frog. And then this one over here looks like a person behind the beast, like they're walking the beast. Maybe kind of a nod to Babylon or the Scarlet Woman, the rebellious female. We also have the number 35. Now, the frog symbolizes to me the watcher of the home. Okay. Frogs. Now, I have this whole thing in my head, in my creative spirit. I call the outside beings my backyard spirits. Okay, so these are like the fae, maybe even the jinn, although jinn usually stick around structures. But anything, the animals, the plants, the minerals, the alignment of how these things kind of coexist, the energies they bring in and flow through the consecrated ground. Hopefully you've consecrated the ground that you live on. If you haven't, please do. Maybe I'll make a video about that. I should. But yeah, go bless your ground. I'm not kidding. And you need to bless the four corners and also the closest intersections. I know it's a lot, but it is worth it. These beings, they live around us. They are part of our family. They are part of our community. And the frogs, the toads, these are the watchers of our doors and our windows. Okay, so the portas and the portals. And when I see this tells me that I need to remind you and myself to go around the home, go around your car, your garage, check the windows and doors, check the locks, check to see if everything is locked, if anything has, been broken, is in disrepair. all these kinds of things. Even insulation, right? I live up in the north, and during the winter, it gets very cold. So you have to make sure to insulate as much as you can. So if that like weather stripping is coming apart or whatever, you want to fix that so you're not getting like ice on your windows. Or if you're in the heat, same thing. You don't want the cool air getting out. You don't want to let the good air. That's why I always tell my daughter, don't let the good air out. So anyways, we have the person with the umbrella, which to me kind of signifies somebody in your life who has been helpful. Like they're the friend that shows up with, the bottle of wine. They're the person that, you need a ride to the airport. They're going to be there. They show up in your life with an umbrella on a rainy day. Okay, so lean into this person. They are definitely in your corner and they are devoted to you. Now, we have that Babylon. We have that rebellious woman energy. And right above it, we have that that Taurus symbol. Okay. So I'm wondering if this person is a Taurus, if this is maybe a sister, a girlfriend, a wife, a mother, a daughter, somebody. And I feel that this is somebody in your life that will always tell you what they think of a situation. So like if you're dating, like this is who you go to because they're going to be honest with you. Now they're not going to be like deprecating of the person you're dating necessarily. I don't see them as somebody who's going to really like, pull them over the hot coals kind of thing. But I do feel like if they think something is like weird or wrong, they're going to tell you. Absolutely. So I feel like you have two people in your life who you can really trust. Okay. One, it seems to be more around like, things within the Malkuthian, the consensus reality. Like if you need help around the house, if you needed somebody to pick up your kid from school, this is your person, right? Now, the other person is your, lie detector. They're the one that is going to keep it real with you. They're the ones that are looking out for you and protecting you, even if you don't realize it. And sometimes you find their opinion to be very frustrating and annoying, and I don't care what you think kind of vibes, right? But they do. They love you and they want the best for you, and it's easy to feel like you're being attacked when somebody's telling you like, bro, you're making bad decisions. But let's face it, we all have been the friend that looks at somebody and we're like, what is you doing, baby? Like, come on, we got to get it together, and it's easy to see where things are going wrong when it's not your mess. It's not easy to receive that information always. It's not easy to like have somebody you care about say like, yo, like I'm noticing this about you, So I, at the same time, I'm a Virgo. I'm super sensitive. Like critiquing us is 50-50. It's going to be a meltdown, right? Gemini, you're not so sensitive as we are. So you might be more than happy to hear the advice. And, maybe you don't take all of it, but you are maybe a little more receptive. Okay, now we have the whale. We have, it looks like a kangaroo, possibly right here. Here's the whale. I'm looking at it from here and I'm seeing this little heart. We also have the letters JR, so junior. So we also have the word see. S-E-E, see. I wanted to say, I see you. I do see you. You know I do. Number 370. So the whale is like love at a distance. Not always. But to me, it really, if you've ever listened to the like whale sounds, their calls, their sounds that they communicate with one another, the vibration is so very healing. If you've never listened to a whale sounds, do it. I'm a baby of the 80s, child of the 90s, so I was like in primo, infomercial, buy this CD, whale sounds, 1-800-WHALE, whatever. Oh no, 1-900 probably. So when whales talk to each other, they can send messages from thousands of miles away across oceans. And when I think of whales, I think of, their pods and their little family lives and how loving and close they are. They create milk and their babies nurse. They are mammal, or are they mammals? Yeah. I think. My gosh, am I just disinformationing everything? I don't know. I think they're mammals, but they have a closeness and a love that is like, it's apparent. If you can't see it, I don't know what to tell you. You're at the wrong channel. If you're sitting here saying, animals don't have souls, Lenor, stop putting human qualities on animals. Baby, you're in the wrong neighborhood. Because, we're animists over here. And not only that, yes, we are definitely putting human attributes on animals, social interactions. So anyways, can communicate from far, far reaches. So this tells me there's a bond that you have with somebody who is far out in the abyss, or at least as far as you are concerned, they are in the abyss. Okay? And I feel like you are communicating to each other, but not directly. Okay? I feel like you've been having dreams. You have been thinking of them. When you think of them, some kind of synchronicity happens that verifies they are also thinking of you. Okay? Now, you might want to reach out. You might not. I'm not going to tell you either way. I will just say, be careful. Protect your heart in this situation, because I feel like there is a profound love, but I also feel like this is an old thing, or it's maybe a thing that was never realized. And I do feel like you might have a tendency to romanticize this person. Okay. Now, we also have the mother energy through the kangaroo. So kangaroos are marsupials. They carry their young in that pouch in front. And so for me, the kangaroo is either the mother archetype, or it's like one of those crazy, like roided out, scary, like I'm gonna box you, like that masculine primal energy. I don't think so in this case. I think this is the mother that we're talking about. And I feel like there really is this sense of you being very much in your mother role. But I feel like there's such a need for you to be mothering yourself through some of this stuff. And also employing the empathy that a mother would have for their child going through the situation that you are going through. Because I don't feel like you have that mother or caregiver person in your life right now. Now, I don't know if they have passed away. I don't know if you just don't talk or what's going on with that, but I feel like there's a huge absence of mother energy. And I feel like you are the one that's going to have to show up for yourself in those moments where it is quiet, everything is settled down for the day, and all of the stress, the anxiety, the trauma, it's all coming to the front of your mind, because you're not just like, in that survival autopilot, got to get the things done, got to get gas for the car, got to get lunch for the kids, got to, get over here and pay this bill, and then I got to get back to work, and, just one thing after another. You don't have time to, think about your mom not being around right now, but when you have those quiet moments, it all comes forward. So I do feel like you're really going to have to actively show up for yourself, okay? You're going to have to be that mom that you don't have right now. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing to learn how to be that person for ourselves. Even talk, if you do self-talk, which I do, I be talking to myself out loud. I even answer my own questions sometimes. But yeah, so doing that, not just the affirmations, but really, like sometimes, man, when I'm about to, I'm on the brink of, becoming very emotionally dysregulated. I can feel my body is starting to shake. My hands are starting to clench. I'm like weeping already in my mind, and my throat is all welled up, and all that stuff. I sometimes have to go to the mirror and look at myself and say, "It's okay. It's okay, Lenor. It's okay. Come on, just breathe through it. It's just right now. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. We're not always going to feel this way." I have to mother myself for real. And it felt very weird at first. And maybe it's starting to make me feel, I don't know, because I've been referring to myself as we on my readings sometimes. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, Lenor. But yeah. It just, I don't know. Sometimes you have to push through that feeling of like, I feel like I'm role playing. I feel like I'm, this is silly. I'm talking to myself in the mirror. But honestly, it does start to change the neural pathways in your brain. When you are hearing positive input consistently, even if it is from yourself, even if you're reading it from a script that you wrote, or a book or whatever, it is helpful. I don't know why or how, but it is. There are books about why or how, but I definitely employ some of that stuff. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. All right, we have the J name. There's a person with a J name. They are stressed out. Look at all this stuff going on. Now, I feel like there's somebody, and we have the J here. So I feel like there's this person in your life, they're going through something, and I almost feel like you are considering taking on this on top of everything else that's going on in your life. And I feel like I have to say to you, because I love you, you need to put yourself first. Okay, it's okay to help other people, even when you're struggling and stuff. We have to be here for each other. We are social creatures after all. But I do feel like in this particular situation, you need to continually remind yourself that this is maybe something that affects your life a little bit or a lot of it, but it is ultimately not your situation to fix. I think you can be of assistance. I think that you can show up for the people involved, or your J person or whoever it is, right? But ultimately, you cannot internalize this and carry it as your own situation, you know. So I know that's not easy, but I do feel that it's important, you know. Sometimes it's easy to get lost in the current of things that are happening in our lives, but sometimes we gotta pump the brakes and remind ourselves, like, it's time to come back to center, right? Okay, so we're going to ask the oracle cards a little bit about, like, what's going on in this next week. What is something that we can plan to be involved in or, like, prepare for? I'm going to just kind of start here. Well, I usually start with 3, and we're going to see. So we're heavily in our intuition, okay? This is going to be a time of needing to be centered and needing to be near water, because I think that's going to help your intuition flow. So if you can go swimming, if you can go put your feet in the river, if you can go talk to the ocean, do it. Because you need that water. If you don't have access to bodies of water, showering, bathing, that kind of thing. Okay. Resourcefulness. Okay, so your resourcefulness has been activated. Publicity. Okay, so something going on in the public eye. So whatever's happening, people know about it, okay? You might feel like you're being judged, you're being watched, people are talking about you. Guess what? They might be. Also, guess what? Who cares, right? Who cares? Who cares? All you need to focus on is getting through your situation, protecting the people that need to be protected in your life, taking care of the people that need to be taken care of, namely you, and not focusing on this. Even if it means you need to get off of social media for a while, don't focus on that part. Let's see. We're going to keep going down. I want to see what else we have. Okay, so discrimination, harmony, organization. Okay. Impulsiveness. Manipulation. Protection. Okay. So we're going to go back up here. We have the intuition, we have the publicity, we have the resourcefulness. So whatever this situation is that is now definitely a public matter, or at least happening in public. So like a good example would be like if you are maybe like, I don't know, going through a breakup, a divorce, whatever it is, you were trying to do it like quietly and kind of work things through and get things set and, you know, whatever, but the beans have been spilled and now all eyes are on you, right? So doing something in private is a lot different than people you know knowing, right? There is this sense of really, you know, finding and seeking harmony through getting to work, you know, and I think that's ultimately how you are feeling empowered in the situation, is by not resting on your laurels or, you know, freezing and waiting to see what happens. You are on things, right? You are absolutely getting this thing worked out. You are moving things around in your life where you need to. You are, you know, dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's or whatever. And yet, even doing everything as it should be done, there is this real need for discernment. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to really look at what is in front of you, the facts, and be real. I mean, you know. Everybody else might not know, but you know. Because we have somebody who you might be protecting, or you might be, you know, aligning yourself with, who could be actually pretty impulsive, pretty manipulative. Now, I'm not saying that whatever's going on is true, but the person that you are having to protect has gotten you into the situation, has created the situation, or partook in the situation to some degree that, guess what? Now you are involved too. I want to just, isolation. Okay, so I do feel like as this thing is playing out, there is a real, going kind of hermit mode. Isolating yourself from people because maybe you don't trust them. Now, I know at the beginning of the reading, we were talking about this being over, right? So it feels like maybe this is a situation that has really, it's been playing out for a while. And, where you thought, okay, things are kind of like over, maybe this is settling down. It does, and you're moving forward, you're getting more confident, you're getting your mojo back, all that stuff. But something is coming up in this next week that is going to bring it all back up. But here's the deal. I feel like it's just going to get you in a place where you are even more focused on the healing, on the self-evolution. And all that entails. I don't know why I ever try to do these. It's just ridiculous. Every time I'm like, I'm gonna be able to shuffle these. No, I don't. I'm not good at shuffling, especially when they're little. So anyways, let's do our lucky numbers and we're going to get out of here. It's getting so hot in my room. Number 74 is our first lucky number. Number 17. And number 76. All right. Well, Gemini, I want to thank you so much for being here. It is always such a pleasure to be able to spend this time with you. I'm always so honored that you even click on the reading. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are wonderful. They're lovely. They're, my people. And yeah. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. If you want to put in that prayer request, I would love to pray with you, for you. Yeah. Take care of yourself. My tummy's telling me I'm hungry, if you heard my stomach growling. It's time to go make lunch. So anyways, I love you, I love you, I love you. We'll talk soon. Goodbye.